Is adjust for fish 2 really a universal formula for wild Crucian carp fishing? 92% of beginners are wrong. Why can't we use adjust for fish 2 or adjust for fish 3 when fishing for Crucian carp in the wild? What kind of adjustment is actually suitable under normal circumstances? Beginners, in particular, must pay attention. Fishing methods like adjust for fish 2 and adjust 5 fish 3 are usually only suitable for stagnant waters in fish ponds. However, it's precisely this float adjustment method that most beginners come into contact with first, and they often get misled by it. Ordinarily, when a novice wild angler goes to a fishing tackle shop, they will say to the boss, "Boss, I'm going fishing in the river. Please give me a set of line and a float." Alas, the boss might sell you those unsold thick line sets and inferior floats. Isn't that right? So you go to the river, set up a bait nest, and start using the adjust for fish 2 or adjust 5 fish 3 method you just learned. After adjusting the float, you might happen to find fish. But even if you use commercial bait, red worms, or earthworms, because your sublines are too thick, the sublines of your double hooks will be stretched very straight. Due to the excessively thick line set, even if fish eat your bait, it will be difficult for them to take it into their mouths. Most anglers with beginner's luck use a large running lead and hang earthworms. Moreover, for adjust for fish 2, it is necessary to ensure that the weight of the double hooks plus the commercial bait can sink the float by more than 2 meshes. If your float has too much lead capacity and too much buoyancy, and your bait can only sink it by 1 mesh, how can you achieve adjust for fish 2? Not to mention using red worms or earthworms. In fact, the biggest problem that most beginners encounter when fishing for Crucian carp in the wild is that it's hard to find the bottom. If there's a current, this kind of adjustment is even more unworkable. Therefore, when fishing for Crucian carp in the wild, we usually adjust to 3 meshes and fish at 3 or 4 meshes. Because in this way, whether using commercial bait or red earthworms, the bait will at least reach the bottom. Because Crucian carp are bottom-dwelling fish, their living habit is to stick their butt up, with their mouths facing down, to eat our bait. At this time, we should fish a bit more bluntly, letting our bait lie firmly on the bottom, or making our sublines as curved as possible, which makes it easier for Crucian carp to take the bait into their mouths. Then, we should follow the 4-character mnemonic: if there's a bite but no fish, lift the float up. If you encounter a situation where there's a bite but you can't catch the fish, try to fish more bluntly and adjust the float upwards a bit. If there are fish but no bite, that is, if others are getting bites but your float has no movement, it may be that you're fishing too sensitively. At this time, you need to adjust the float downwards a bit and fish a bit more sensitively. If the bait isn't getting bites, we can hang red worms or earthworms on both hooks, and they will also reach the bottom. If there's a slight current, we can adjust to 3 meshes and fish at 4, 5, or even 6 meshes, which can effectively alleviate the problem. Some anglers say, is it necessary to adjust 3 and fish 3 when fishing for Crucian carp in the wild? That's not necessarily the case. We need to look at the scenario. If there's wind and waves today, we should adjust higher, such as adjusting 4 and fishing 4, or adjusting 5 and fishing 5. Different adjustments are applied to different scenarios. Whether it's a large running lead, adjusting 3 and fishing 3, or adjusting 4 and fishing 2, as long as it's suitable for the current fish situation and can increase our catch, this kind of adjustment is definitely effective and correct. The above is about why adjust 4, fish 2 is not suitable for wild Crucian carp fishing. I hope it will be helpful to all fellow anglers. The purpose of this article is to tell all fellow anglers that adjustment is not fixed. It needs to be adjusted according to the actual situation of the fishing waters. Author profile: I am a self-media blogger who loves fishing and is good at sharing. Follow me, and we will exchange fishing skills and discuss every bit of wild fishing for anglers. Give a like, collect, and follow to avoid missing the next update.